Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Reasonable Radiance Hair. It's Tish here, just making a video trying to show you guys a little bit about what I know about the watercoloring. So I'm going to be using a few products. That's Clairol Jazzing. I believe that color was Cherry Cola. I also am going to be using the Great Adore with Burgundy Bliss. I also love using those products. I've never used Jazzing on a watercolor before, but I'm going to use it because Adore didn't give me all the shades that I was looking for. So I'm going to use a few of these bottles of Jazzing and see how it goes. For this, you'll want to have a whisk or a large container. This whisk right here is going to help me. This large container. Yes, it is a drawer to my plastic storage bin that I use while I'm doing hair. I did not want to go out to the store and get a container for something as simple as this. You can use this. You can use your kitchen sink. I'm using also hot water, a little bit underneath boiling. You can use different temperature waters based on the color you're trying to achieve, based on how hard you want the hair to grab onto the color. And that's really exactly what's going to happen, because as you are stirring in the color, when you do put the hair in, you'll see how the hair is going to literally pick the color up out of the water. If you do it continuously, your water will turn clear. So what you want to do initially after you open at least one bottle is you want to do a little bit of testing after you evenly stir it up all the way throughout. If you don't evenly distribute it throughout the water, you're going to see clumps of dark parts of dye. So use a strand of hair, test it out, and see how it is. Right now I'm looking, you can barely see any color on it, which means it didn't grab it all. So I already know that I'm going to need more than that. I already can see it. The color that I'm going for is like a deep wine color. This is already very see-through. So I'm going to add in another bottle of the Cherry Cola Jasmine, and I'm going to add a lot more of the Burgundy Bliss from the Adore line. So now that we've mixed it all up and it's so much darker, it's time to check out putting this frontal in there. So we're going to have a lot more on it than that little bit that was right there when we did the test. And I'm also going to do a video on what you can do with Got To Be glue spray, the freeze spray, to protect some of your knots. With my client's complexion, it won't be an issue with dipping this head first in because it'll blend very nicely with her skin tone anyway. And we'll be able to get this thing down, deep and dirty inside of that color. So instantly you see a lot of the color is grabbing onto the hair without a problem, is taking on very easily. Now the water that I'm using is pretty hot, so you don't have to use water this hot. I use it in order to make the color grab onto the hair a lot easier. So that's why I'm using it, you know, as hot as it is. It's a little bit under boiling, so it's not boiling, but you see the steam, so you get it. So I'm just pretty much swimming the hair through, and it's not giving me the darkness I'm looking for. See, this is kind of pinkish. I'm looking more for a wine color. So I'm going to saturate that thing and see what happens. Checking it periodically, but pretty much just going to drop that thing in there. Roll it around a little bit in the color, because as you roll it around, it's going to be picking up more color. So as you can see, as I keep dipping the frontal, it's giving me a nice shade, but it's not exactly giving me wine, the color that I was looking for. And I think that Cherry Cola is a little bit more cherry than cola, so it's giving me a little pink effect. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, but ultimately I do want this color to be darker. So I'm going to be adding in some additional Adore. So I had to get me some more Adore because I just cannot with the jazzing. It's nice for regular color, but watercolor is a no for me. I got some intense red from Adore to give me more of the deep red hues that I'm looking for. So I'm really praying to all the gods and the grown Jesus and the baby Jesus that this gives me the color I'm looking for, because no one wants to keep having to re-dip hair over and over. So I'm going to take a little bit more, get my whisk, stir it up, and let's see what goes on as far as how deep this gets. And I am adding a little bit more of the Burgundy Bliss. Those two are some perfect combinations to get the color that I'm looking for. So that it's nice and dark, I'm going to try about the hair. But you know what? Even though this is watercolor, you want to make sure that you get some gloves, because I was thinking with it being watercolor, it would be a little thinner. It's not going to really stain my hands. But I was wrong. Look, it really did get a lot of staining on it, but it's okay. I'm going to throw some gloves on now so that we can go ahead and get this process moving. Also, the gloves will help you if the water is a little warmer, because I noticed once I put my gloves on, it was a little easier for my hands to go down there. Even though they're just latex, is one more layer on if you're going and working with really hot water. So now I'm just going to take the frontal and dip it into the new combination of colors that I have, the deep colors that I'm looking for, the dark, dark, sexy red wine colors that I'm looking for. And I'm just going to let it sit in there for a little bit. Okay, so not really. I just cannot wait to see how this color is finna get on here. It looks so good. This is the burgundy, the wine that I'm really looking for. I didn't want a classic burgundy. I wanted a deep, deep red color. It is going to be nice, deep wine color, and it's taken really well. So all I'm about to do is stir it up some more. So in this case, if you do see any dark spots that happen to get on your bundles or your closure, wigs, frontals, however, whatever you're dyeing, just stir it up some more, because you probably just had a portion of the dye that didn't saturate all the way into the water. And all you have to do is rub it out a little bit on the product that you're using as far as the hair, and just keep dipping it, and the dark spots will go away. So you don't have to worry about that. It's easy to correct without anything being completely ruined. So I'm just dipping it a little bit more, picking up a little bit of that color, getting a little bit more of that deep wine color that I'm looking for, and it's coming out perfect. Oh, it's just something so satisfying and mesmerizing about seeing hair come up out of water, especially some nice colors. Look at that. So that is the color that I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna let that drip out a little bit, wring it out a little bit, and go place it on a towel before I do the deep conditioning process. This came out exactly like the color I was looking for. So I'm just going to mix up the water mixture with the colors a little bit more. Make sure we don't have any thick areas. Make sure it's nothing caked up anywhere to mess up our colors. And now we're going to go in with the bundles. So that was a little bit how the color was before. Nothing at all like what I was looking for. Look at how it look already. It's going in there and it's getting darker. Just put it on there, let it sit in there. Now, I don't like to put rubber bands or keep ties or anything on my bundles. I just like to keep them kind of loose, make sure they're combed out, and then sit them into the mixture of colors that you have. These were some revamp bundles of a 613 sew-in that me and my client had already done. We took it out, cleaned the frontal, cleaned the bundles, revamped them, combed them out, no tangles, no shedding, and then we're doing this watercolor because of course 613 is the best to take on color unless you can do some deeper colors on a natural, like if you bring it up. So keep that in there for about 10 minutes and let it just simmer for a little while. I'll do a video, by the way, on lifting some natural 1B color hair to a lighter tone and adding color on that. Just letting you know the type of colors that are ideal for that type of process. For this type of process in the hair we had, we used the 613. Yes, I am dipping the frontal a little bit more just to pick up a little bit more of that color because, I mean, it's sitting down there in the bucket, so why not? It's what I'm looking for. So here all I'm doing is taking a look at the bundles, picking them up, dropping them down a little bit more in there. Pretty much fishing for some of the color. Just keep on trying to pick them up, checking out the color, seeing how much has taken, and just leaving it sitting in there for a little while. Flipping it from one side to the other, swishing around the color that's still inside of the container, and trying to get it on there because now it's really giving me what I want. Do you see that? So now all I'm going to do is lift each of the bundles up in a really organized fashion as much as I can. Like I said, I don't like to use hair bows or ties. I like the color to get evenly distributed throughout the whole bundle and just wring it out a little bit. Don't actually wring it out like a rag, but you know, just pull it down gently like I'm doing to release a lot of the excess water that's in there, and then just set it down flat on a towel. Yes, I'm trying to pick up all that color still. The last of the Mohican. So we're just going to wring this out too, and we're going to set it down on the towel with the other bundles. Getting ready for the deep conditioning process, which I do for about 24 hours. This is how it came out. Very nice shade. This is what I'm looking for. It's giving me the jazz that I'm looking for. It's giving me those hues of wine that I want, and I am hoping that my client loves this color. Check us out at www.reasonableradiancehair.com. We always have sales and discounts. Facebook, Reasonable Radiance Hair, and Instagram at reasonable_radiance1. Thanks so much, guys, for watching, and I'll be back with another great tutorial to show you some skills.